when do you feel like, or when does a fighter should know that he's ready to go pro and ready to go take it to the next level?
I feel like when you as an amateur, when it's time to go pro, especially in today's era, because if you look at it, a lot of these kids a lot of these big promoters are signing now, they have a big amateur background, whether it's the Olympics or multinational champions. And so like, and then they're getting pushed faster these days. They're not waiting to 20, 30 fights to put a title on the kids these days. So like, but they trying to get if promoters that you're looking for an amateur, they're looking for an amateur that has a hefty, amateur experience. So I would tell kids to continue building their resume, because that's what it really is. It's your resume. Your amateur background is your resume. So I would tell kids to keep stay in the amateur game as long as you can, as long as much, and get as much as you possibly can learn from it. Like the time you'll know when it's time to go pro, but I always suggest that they should just stick around a little longer at times, to get that bulk of experience and then move on to the next the level of boxing.
So when you went pro in 2012, what was one of the things like what was like one of the harshest realities in the sport of boxing that you was like, wow, I never knew this was like that? Was it a part of the business or training, just anything that was a harsh reality?
Nah, there's a lot of things that you don't learn going into the pro rankings, that you do need a good team around, especially when it comes with money and the way contracts are formed. I'm not, like I said, I came in the game, signed under Al Heyman. I'm not saying Al was great to me. I had a great relationship with Al Heyman, but like I learned a lot, like into pro games. It's not like a team like team sports where you have, managements like that that's always keeping eyes and ears on everything. Like no, as you get higher, you got to start paying attention to a lot that goes on within your business and your circle, and you got to be hands on to it. Like I mean, thank God for me. Like I got a team that basically taught me to be how to be financially stable and clear. So like that's the main thing, because I see a lot of fighters, they come back because of things like, for instance, like taxes. A lot of these actually go ask a lot of these fighters now. Ask them how many actually take care of their taxes and doing it in a smart way, like turning their brand into like an LLC and so on. So like I mean even like greats. You see like you hear the things related to greats, like guys like Pacquiao and such who had issues so with taxes and like that. There's things that like they're not going to teach you. These things that you're supposed to go out there and learn on your own. So you gotta build a good team that's looking out for you and not just looking out what's in your pocket.
When going about picking trainers and coaches, what's one of the first things that you look at?
For me, it was chemistry. It was chemistry. That was a starting point. There's a lot of great trainers out there, as we all seen. We'll see now. I mean, but like, say for instance, like they try to say that Robert Garcia and Anthony Joshua wasn't a good combination. But Robert Garcia is a great trainer, but they may just not have had the same chemistry. Like I said, Robert Garcia could do great by many others out there. You know what I mean? But I feel like, and it's not just about Robert Garcia. I think it's with any trainer. I think it comes down to just having great chemistry for starters, and then getting on the same page. Because like I said, anyone can sit down and speak boxing and try to show you things, but not everyone can teach it to you.
And then Bomac, how did that relationship with you and Bomac happen, to him being your trainer? And then how is it working with a guy like Bomac and picking the brain of Bomac and dealing with a guy, obviously like Terrence Crawford? Like, what did you learn from those two big guys, obviously?
I know, man. I learned a lot. I mean, those two helped me get to be, becoming a world champion. So those two guys who I still, love and respect to this day. Bo was really a student in the game. He's really like he'll really break down things in ways and manners that's basically on your level or your language. And not to mention, you got guys like Red Spikes, who's another trainer over there, as well as Isao Diego. So that whole trio plus Blood, that's a lot of knowledge and different, and different styles and forms that help implement and build you as a fighter.
What is your eye test of a fighter? Like, when do you look at a fighter and be like, yeah, he's got it, or he's gonna be it? Like, what are the things that you look for as a fighter?
when they start stepping in competition and actually going through some phase of adversity, in their path, they're calm and cool under pressure, and they handle it, and they get the job done. You know what I mean? When you start seeing fighters start struggling, they start climbing, and they start struggling, whatever. But it's normal. Sometimes you will struggle here and there, but when they start struggling, they're making excuses on why the fight played out the way it did, instead of just taking it head on and willing to go back to the drawing board and learn. Because sometimes when the fighter is arrogant like that, they're just stuck in their ways, and you can't teach them much after that. They just think they know everything, and they're gonna stick to doing that same thing until they get knocked off.
How long do you think a fighter, or how does a fighter should figure out his identity, or should it be something that should be represented to him?
Nah, I think for the most part, you find yourself, you find within yourself, at least in the pros, within the after that first year, you really start molding into what you want to get it, how you want to see yourself as and portray yourself as in the future, whether it's inside or outside the ring. But like, I think it should click on like that after that first year, especially if you've been busy that year. You should really start finding yourself after that first year, because that's when you really start planning out, okay, the next steps to each and every part of your career.
So if this was going to be for the youth. Obviously, you went pro, had a successful career. What's the message that you got to the youth trying to make it to boxing, be a world champion, maybe when they're second guessing their career? What's the message of motivation that you could give to the youth to uplift them? Maybe they don't got that guy in their corner. You being a professional, taking to big heights, so you actually have the qualifications to speak on those kind of things.
No, I was telling them, just stay grounded. You know what I'm saying? And form a circle, a team around it that you can trust, to all the way to through thick and through all the bullshit and whatever. Because as you're going along the way, sometimes you might start getting people that you're not familiar with that is tag-alongs, but you don't know it because you live it. Everything's going good, but like, it's gonna be a point in time where you're gonna see who your real ones. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, even if it's a small circle, so you gotta keep good energy around you, and and more importantly, with those who are in the gym trying to take it to the next level in their careers, trust and believe in your team. If that chemistry isn't there anymore, sometimes you might have to look out for yourself and better you, but at least give your team a chance to help and build you and mold you into a champion.